What's up, mushroom fam? It's Gary with Fresh from the Farm Fungi. I'm here in Denver, Colorado, and it's 4 weeks into our Immaculate inoculation breeding project for 2020. And today I'm going to be doing transfers from all of our mated pairings of Namico, golden oyster, brown oyster, and then I'm going to do a multi-spore summer oyster, and I'm going to mate all of those local Colorado oysters together and see what we come up with. So when I'm doing my transfers, I'm going to transfer the mated pairings onto agar slants. So I prepared these last week. You can check out my video on how to make slants if you're interested, but basically these are for long-term storage of the mycelium. So these are G1 mycelium cultures from spore. So I'm going to transfer one onto a slant culture, so I'll have this for long-term, and then I'm going to put another wedge into grain spawn. So this is preparing to go on to the next phase to bulk substrate. And then I'm also going to put some into a liquid culture so that whichever one grows out the best, or has a really cool appearance, or whatever we're selecting for the different phenotypes, I'll have a liquid culture prepared that I can rapidly expand that in time for the farmer's market. So I've got my liquid cultures that I prepared last weekend as well, so I know that they're sterile. And then I made this grain spawn 2 days ago, so it's cooled off, but I'm using oats. In a future video, I'm going to do a comparison of the different types of grains and why I chose to use what I use, but I just wanted to go over the whole entire process, and then I'm going to flip the camera around and do a bird's eye view of my procedures, kind of sped up so that I can save some time. And I had to turn off this flow hood because it's pretty loud, and I'll do a voiceover if there's anything that I want to say, but if not, I'm just going to do a entire procedural video so that you guys can understand how to properly transfer your mycelium onto slants, grain spawn, and liquid culture. Alright guys, I am geared up and ready. So I don't usually do this many transfers because I like to be extra precautious in case something weird happens. I don't want an entire library to go down. However, I have a lot of pre-sterilized blades that I'm going to be swapping out between each different strain. And then I also have this disinfectant solution that I'm going to put inside this glass. So if you're wondering what it is, it's just to decontaminate the blade handles so that if I run out of fresh blade handles, I'll be able to swap those out with some sterile blades. All right, I'm just gonna fill this up and then we can get going. Alright guys, like always, I'm just gonna start by spraying my hands off with some isopropyl alcohol. And to make things easy, I'm just gonna go left to right. I'll save the summer oyster isolates for a different video. But I do have the summer oysters that are presumably mated, and then the multi-spore plate. So these are all local Colorado oyster strains, and I'm just going to run these out on grain for now because I'm going to be crossing them separately. So these are pre-sterilized blades. I like to use the number 11. can see that I already took out some isolates from this plate, but I'm gonna let these compete in the same grain spawn jar and see if one of them will prevail. So I like to take my wedges from the center of the dish just because around the edge there could be contaminants. Yep. And then this is a smudgeless wet erase. I like using these on the plastic lids. That's why I like to set my blade to the side. Sometimes those wedges will get stuck. Not liking this one. Alright guys, so now I'm going to move on to my brown oyster. So these are presumptive pairings. I already did a couple a few days ago, but I just wanted to show you the process from taking a mated pair and going from a mated pairing into a green spawn, liquid culture, and a slant. So I prefer to get my liquid culture ready first because this could potentially get contaminated the easiest. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video on all my transfers. Give us a thumbs up. If you like to see more content like this, comment below. So it's going to take about 2 weeks for the mycelium to colonize the grain spawn. So I'll keep an eye on this and do some updates on what mushrooms are growing the fastest. I'm also going to parafilm those stock cultures and keep them just in case something happens to the slants. But then once the slants grow out, I'll put them on my rack in my fridge for long-term storage. So the slants will be good for at least a year. And then what I do is I'll rotate them from one slant to another slant, so they're only touching my agar until they go into the production. And then I will also be keeping an eye on these liquid cultures, and then once they start to grow out, I'll QC them on agar, and that way I'll have production plates for agar for the springtime as well as liquid cultures. And then I'm going to do the runners up next week while these ones are growing out on agar. So I'll have a couple flushes to kind of gather the best genetics, but that kind of breaks things down. I've got a few more plates in the incubator on the way, and then all of these runners up. And there is some really nice smelling brown oysters and some of those golden oysters, so I'm super excited to see what we get out of this. And then also after I wipe all this down, I'll do a video on crossing that Colorado summer oyster. So I have about 8 different isolates. They're really cool looking, and I'm going to attempt to mate them on one single petri dish. So I didn't get one colony per dish this time, so there is a small chance that some of those have already been mated, but I'm going to try it anyway. And we already got really good results so far, so I'm super excited to see what we come up with. Subscribe if you're looking forward to more mycology videos like these. Check out our Etsy shop, Fresh Fungi. We got some liquid cultures, some other stuff on there. And if anyone's interested in taking our mushroom cultivation class, we've got about 8 spots left. So check out mushroomcult.net/events. And we're also doing one more online class in March. That was super fun last time, and we had a bunch of people attend. So thanks to everyone who attended our online workshop 101. So it was just a demo from start to finish, kind of what I'm doing here, but really expedited. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I know it was a long one. I'll try to speed up those processes, but I really wanted to give you a thorough view of what it's like to transfer all of these different genetics into their slants, liquid cultures, and grain spawn. Much love.